I'm Larry King, welcoming you to another edition of PACTV Community News.
I'm Kim Mio. This week, you'll learn about Plymouth South High School's Emmy winners.
They came out of it thinking that they were better than they thought they were.
And we meet a movie star from Kingston.
The film's being made by veterans, and it's being filmed on an authentic World War II submarine.
PACTV Community News takes you to the recent Duxbury High School baccalaureate service.
It's always entertaining. There's always a kind of an emotional feel to the night.
And you'll see the installation of Pembroke's new town landing docks.
At the fall town meeting, we got approximately $50,000 appropriated to purchase these docks.
You'll learn about the autism spectrum disorder called Asperger's.
Communication goes in a very intellectual way. There are these misunderstandings.
And we visit a historical reenactment from the Plymouth Guard.
Charge your pipe!
That and more on this week's edition of PACTV Community News.
Kingston resident and actor Norm Harbison has turned a hobby into a job. This year, Harbison has been cast in a feature film portraying a German submarine commander in the movie Subconscious. PACTV Community News caught up with Norm on location in Fall River.
The title of the movie is Subconscious, basically sci-fi meets history documentary. The submarine here, the Lionfish, goes back into time and encounters a German U-boat, has a small battle with the U-boat, and then encounters the U.S. destroyer. The crew on board the submarine is being transported in time and are fighting both the Germans, the Americans, and the U-boat, the submarine itself. I'm a reenactor and a living historian, primarily World War II. Been a historical consultant on a few movies, college films, low-budget films. They were looking for reenactors to portray the part. The reenactors are an actor that's been playing the same part for years in the historical accuracy. And Georgia wants to make this as historically accurate as possible.
Let's start with below decks. We're going to have you at the scope. Yep. The first officer, you're at the aft scope, the attack scope. Yeah. Right, yeah, you're at the aft scope, the attack scope. The first officer...
Georgia's been making some films. And I read the script that she had, talked to her, and she was really enthusiastic about it. She is a naval veteran, and most of the actors and people in this film are U.S. military veterans. The movie is going to be made for veterans, with the proceeds of the movie going to veterans. And later on in the movie, the shipyard down here at Fall River will be turned into a World War II naval base with reenactors playing all the background extras and up-close extras. So it was a word of mouth and invitation. I came down, talked to them, and next thing I know, I was cast as the U-boat commander, and I'm also been an associate producer now. This torpedo will actually be loaded into that tube. We've already done it in rehearsals. Wow. These bars will be removed, and you'll see a whole key scene in this movie, because this is the torpedo that takes out my submarine. This one here is you're going to have living historian reenactors portraying the parts. The proceeds of the film are going to veterans, as I said. The film's being made by veterans, and it's being filmed on an authentic World War II submarine. With the magic art, you see the green stuff hanging. That's for CGI. That'll be all cut out, and it'll look more like a German U-boat. So we're doubling a real submarine as both an American submarine and a German U-boat.
Contact Dayton.
With the summer season just beginning, the town of Pembroke has installed new dockage at Town Landing in Little Sandy Beach. The new docks are made from polyurethane and replace the existing wooden docks that rotted over time. PACTV Community News traveled to Pembroke to see the installation.
We had some docks for about 15, 20 years, and the last 5 or 6 years, the wooden ones that we refurbished were just falling into disrepair. And so last fall, it became obvious that we were going to have to get some new docks. And so at the fall town meeting, we got approximately $50,000 appropriated to purchase these docks. And it, was something that was well received by the town and by the members attending town meeting. And then we went ahead and prepared specifications regarding the new docks, and we chose the polyurethane docks that you're going to see assembled here today. They're going to be a lot lighter to be able to take out of the water at the end of the season. They'll be stored at the Public Works Garage on Mattakesa Street, and hopefully the life expectancy will be a lot longer than the wooden ones that we had. We're going to have the docks assembled here at Town Landing. We'll have a new boat ramp dock, and then we'll have another dock down at Little Sandy. And this is going to be a welcome addition to our recreational facilities here, and we're looking forward to having these things assembled today and being used this summer.
Recently, PACTV Community News reported on Plymouth North High School students' Emmy Awards. This week, we travel to Plymouth South High School's TV news facility and speak with their school's media curriculum students about their recent New England Emmy Awards.
My junior students this year entered the MOVE competition, which is a film festival that was held at Plymouth North. They did a great job. I was really proud of them. They ended up taking home a first place award and a second place award. And then one of my after-school video club students won a third place award for sports. So we did really well. They loved going and being able to see the videos of other schools, kind of see their competition, their peers, what they're doing. I think they came out of it thinking that they were better than they thought they were when they saw how other students in their grades did. So it was kind of a really good thing for them to see.
My name is Aiden Callahan, and my group won the Best Short Film Award at the MOVE contest. Our video was called Travis the Surgeon, and the objective of the project was to have as many angles in it as we could. We were voted on by our peers, and they voted us the highest of all short films, which is pretty good. And I liked that we were voted on by our peers because they're all learning the same stuff that we are, so they know how it is to have to shoot a film.
The most enjoyable part about filming the entertainment short one was in the film I dissect a watermelon, so it was enjoyable to just smash apart a watermelon while filming. And we didn't really have time to do a lot since we only had one class period, but we were able to pull it off, and it came out pretty well.
This is probably one of my most creative classes. I've got high hopes for them. A few of them want to go on further into college and do video, so I'm really looking forward to seeing some of their stuff. Next year they've got some plans for some great videos, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what they come up with.
Duxbury's Interfaith Council held their annual baccalaureate service this month for the town's graduating high school class. The event included poetry readings, songs, and inspirational messages from local clergy and graduates themselves. PACTV Community News attended the service and brings you this story.
It's a great night. It's a great week anyway, this whole graduation week. So it's a nice night for the kids to kind of get together and kind of reflect on their years here together. And there's always some kids that have special talents, and it's really nice for them to share it one final time with their classmates and with the whole community, really. Every single class is different. There's different talent every year, so you don't know what you're going to get until you're there at the very first rehearsal and you see what we have. It's always entertaining. There's always a kind of an emotional feel to the night. You know, you get and it's always nice to see it come together, to see that very first rehearsal where everybody's just kind of having a fun time and thinking it's a big kind of a lark, and then the transformation between that very first rehearsal and then the baccalaureate night is amazing, and they're so polished, so put together, and it's really a wonderful experience to see the high school kids really support their peers like that, you know, and it's a great feel-good kind of night.
This year we had 17 students participate, and some of the students played a saxophone quartet, or they were singing a cappella. Some were singing a favorite song that they dedicated to a special person in their life to show appreciation, and that was maybe singing with a guitar while they played a guitar. We had one student who played a beautiful composition on the violin with a pianist as an accompanist. We also had one student who read a favorite poem once he had reflected on what he was going to do going forward after graduation. Another individual was a girl who wrote about what she learned throughout her years at her high school. I think we had about 300 people in attendance at the baccalaureate service this year. It's always a wonderful way to have family and friends and just the entire Duxbury community come to honor the students, because this service is really all about the students. And as a community, we are just so proud of them, and we wish them well and hope in all their endeavors they come back and give back to the community in ways that we probably have not thought of.
Asperger's syndrome is a form of autism characterized by difficulties with social interaction and nonverbal communication. Pembroke Scout Troop visited a presentation about Asperger's syndrome to learn more about the disorder. PACTV Community News was there too.
So it's largely a social communication disorder. One of the things that's often the most confusing is when we speak to each other, little do we know that only a small percent of communication is the actual words we use. A lot of communication is your body language, your facial expression, the intonation when you accentuate a word and when you don't, the context you're in. If I said one thing in this setting, and I used the same actual words, but it was a different setting, I could have a whole different meaning. The rules change in communication depending on the context, depending on the setting. And somehow, without being taught all of that stuff, like you're taught how to speak, but you're not taught that this face means this thing, that this body language means something different than this body language, that eyebrows up means something different than eyebrows down. Like, you're not actually taught that if you're part of a majority. Through being with people and communicating with people as toddlers and preschoolers, you kind of understand that stuff. For most people on the spectrum, however, what they hear, what the communication is the words. And so if you say it quietly, it's the same thing as if you say it loudly. If you say it in the context of a meeting with both adults and peers, it's the same as if you say it with a group of peers. The words are what is processed as opposed to the rest of it, unless it's taught. This is so cool about Asperger's. If you figure out what someone with Asperger's doesn't know, that the majority does know, and you teach it, they learn it. Go figure, if you teach someone something that they don't know, they can learn it. The trick is figuring out what they don't know. So a lot of times communication goes in a very intellectual way. There are these misunderstandings, and it's a very exact way. It's not like getting the gist. Not so much with the gist if you have Asperger's. You're not really a gist kind of guy. You're more of an exact kind of guy. So this is the kid who will drive you crazy because you say the meeting is going to start at 7 and we're going to do this introduction, whatever, and then at 7:15 we're going to break into small groups. And at 7:15 they're like, excuse me, it's 7:15, it's time to move along. And you're like, I'm finishing up what I'm doing. And it feels disrespectful. It feels disruptive. It is actually disruptive to the flow of the group. It feels sometimes obnoxious is another word that pops to mind, because this is a basically bright person. And they're like, tick, tick, it's 7:15. Just like they don't get the message behind intonation in your voice, when your voice, so you'll say, thank you. Now that is not a happy thank you. And they're going, you're welcome. Now you're really like, and you get the head roll, because it feels like they're challenging. And really what they heard was, oh, thanks for letting me know that I've now run over, because I said 7:15, it's now 7:15, I've told you it's 7:15, you're thanking me, and I'm being polite, and I'm saying you're welcome. All of your sort of discomfort and like, what am I supposed to do with this kid in your head, they don't even know what's going on.
The new Plymouth Guard reenacts historical events portraying the citizens' army of the Plymouth colony circa 1640. The Guard recently held a pike and militia drill, and PACTV Community News was there to capture the event.
Close your pan. Say when ready. Ready.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Mattern. I'm the captain of the new Plymouth Guard. We are a reenactor group. We reenact the home guard of Plymouth, starting in 1620 when the Pilgrims landed and up through the 1640s.
Charge the enemy!
Today we're going to be joined by a group from another colony, the Salem Trained Band. They specialize in long pikes. They'll be using 16.5-foot long pikes that they brought over from England.
My name's Paul Kenworthy, and I'm the captain of the Salem Trained Band. The Salem Trained Band was a militia company from Salem, which is the second colony in New England. Plymouth is the first colony, Massachusetts Bay is the second colony, Salem is the capital of Massachusetts Bay. We're the militia for the capital of Massachusetts Bay colony. What we were doing was a little bit of pike drill. Pikes are very, very long, and you have to practice to be able to maneuver in close formations. They only work well when your men are closely ordered.
Forward, march! Charge your pike! Ah!
Halt! We use pikes and muskets here with the Plymouth group.
Ready. Cover your pan. Blow. Ready. Open your pan. Freeze it. Aim up. Give fire. Very good.
We're reenacting a militia drill by the United Colonies of New England. That was a group of colonies from Massachusetts Bay, which includes Salem, the Plymouth colony, and the New Haven colony from Connecticut. They joined together in the early 1640s for mutual defense and to settle boundary disputes.
Hi there, I'm Rainey Reed, the town manager for the town of Duxbury. Over the course of the last month, a number of issues have been going on in our town, most notably the closure of Duxbury Beach as a result of the arrival of piping plovers. The birds came in, as they usually do, around April and have been here since then. And as a result, we've had to close a significant portion of the beach. In fact, only the resident and non-resident parking lots are open at this point. We hope to have the beach open before the July 15th deadline, but we're working very hard right now to make sure that the safe and appropriate access is managed out there. As a result of these extreme circumstances, the town has offered a 100% refund to anybody that's interested, as long as they apply for the refund and return their sticker to the town by Friday, June 28th at 12:30 in the afternoon. So far, we've had 175 non-residents apply for a refund and 25 residents. That's a total of approximately $55,000 that we've refunded. But if anybody, again, would like to do it, they need to return their sticker to the Treasurer Collector's Office by Friday, June 28th at 12:30 p.m. We are, as I had said, we are still working toward having the beach open prior to July 15th, at least in limited capacity. And what limited capacity might mean is that we could allow oversand access for a small number of vehicles. For instance, we could allow it for perhaps 100 cars, which would mean 50 resident and 50 non-resident. So again, we're working toward having the beach open again before July 15th. And that's all for now. Thank you.
Thanks for watching PACTV Community News. Replay times are listed at pactv.org. Click on the PCN logo to watch each complete edition or individual story.
See us on YouTube by searching for PACTV Community News Channel. Also like us on Facebook to receive previews each week with links to all our stories.
Thanks for watching. Join us next week for more PACTV Community News.